Welcome to Finishers and Signatures and Finishers podcast. I'm your host, DS Walk. Here we go. Damn, we look good. Damn, we look young. It's about time that Rumble took this damn thing off and let us show our faces. We getting used to Rumble. We getting used to it. Little, it just Rumble does its own thing. Don't allow us to have a background, so you don't got to see how we live and all that stuff. It's getting really, really, really. I'll let Jamie say the word. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let Jamie say it.
You're the family friendly one. You don't want me saying anything.
Yeah, but you really correct one, so you say it.
I'm not the politically correct one.
You know what I'm saying? I got a foul mouth. I'm trying not to use that foul mouth. Yes, family friendly like AEW, allegedly. But I'm not trying to have foul mouth. Okay, fine. Rumble is on some bullshit with the damn background, so got to cover up how we live. They need to get together with this bull. Okay, that's it. That's all the
Malarkey.
family friendly.
Malarkey. We'll say malarkey. That's a good one.
Malarkey.
Malarkey. It's a
Okay,
nice white word for you. Malarkey.
malarkey. And you would think I would know that with the high school that I went to, but no.
You went to a much whiter school than I did.
I did. It,
Yeah.
I really did. I don't think everybody need to know that part, but I really did. But you know what though? It serves purpose because what everybody don't know is I went to a Catholic school growing up. So it was a lot of white people in the Catholic school. And a lot of nuns with rulers who like to whoop kids where they get out of
He's had his
control.
hand slapped with a ruler many times.
Yeah, but see, I graduated from the ruler to the paddle.
Now the question is, did the paddle have the holes in it so they could really get the good airflow coming through there?
Yes, it did.
Oh, those are the sting ones.
I can't remember because I still got the sore on my ass.
About as
Oh
good as the
boy.
MJF match then, huh?
Hey, I guess so, man. All they was missing was the Tic Tacs,
The Tic Tacs.
thumbnails.
Tic Tacs, thumbtacks, thumbnails. It's all the same, you know.
Hey, it was less hardcore than no, it was more hardcore than the MJF match. At least I didn't cry and I didn't
That's good.
scream
That's
because
good.
I ain't gonna sound like a punk when I get my butt whipped by the priest or none, whoever, which one you want to call it. I ain't gonna be a punk about it. I had to
That's fair.
I had to kid up with it, like
You gotta do the Full Metal Jacket. Thank you, sir. Can I have another?
I ain't gonna do that part. There were girls outside. It was girls
That's
outside
true.
in the hallway. So
That's fair.
and my friends, if I remember who they was outside in the hallway too. So I didn't want to embarrass myself.
It's understandable.
Yeah. Anyhow, welcome to Signatures and Finisher Podcast. I'm your host, DS Walt, one half of the tag team champions. The other half over there is he can't be he can't be the tribal chief no more. So I guess he's the American hero, Jamie.
The American hero.
The American hero. American hero. I say that because a lot of America need more men like Jamie.
Oh boy.
More Jamie, less me.
I don't
I'm
know about that.
family friendly over there. Family man over there. I'm a raging lunatic.
Apparently today you are. I don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
okay.
man. I guess I took a nap trying to calm down, but it didn't work. It just didn't work.
That's fair.
I'm fighting like the dog today.
Okay, well then why don't you start us off? What did you think of our wonderful overhyped Wrestlepalooza?
That was some overhyped bullshit. That's what I thought about. I,
I think through our text messages was pretty accurate when you said it was an overhyped house show is probably the best way to put it.
yeah, it was. I hear some people say a overhyped Saturday Night's main event. I heard some people say a lower lesser PLE. No, it was just an overhyped house show.
Yeah, it was a recorded house show. I wouldn't even give it the credit of calling it as quality as the Saturday night's main event, because all the Saturday night main events have been pretty solid so far.
Yeah,
I mean, there was what, 5 matches on Wrestlepalooza?
5 matches where you had room for two.
Yeah. So you have what's basically their Triple H and all them said we want this to be another WrestleMania. We want it to be as big as WrestleMania. You didn't have Rhea Ripley on there?
Apparently not.
Like you had some of your main event and again, you don't have Rhea Ripley on there, but you had the Usos wasting screen time. That's all the Usos are. Is just a giant waste of screen time. Jimmy, I don't mind Jimmy. Jay is insufferable, but the matches, watching the CM Punk Seth Rollins match was painful. Like I was so bored. I just couldn't wait for it to end, and it just kept going and going. The Uso match was, it was predictable of how it was going to go. Um, Again, we said it before it started. The best match was going to be Io Sky and Stephanie Vacher, and it hands down was.
It was.
Um, the Cena Lesnar thing was surprising that they let Cena just get whipped that bad. I
I'm
can see
not.
why they let Lesnar win because they've got to stretch this out because I mean, what else are you going to do with him? He's got what, five dates left or something. No Smackdowns. I think one Raw appearance left, and that's it.
He has Perth, Crown Jewel in Perth.
Hmm.
He's
Yeah, I'm
scheduled for
talking just
that.
Raws though,
Oh,
because
just
he's
one
got
Raw.
no more Smack. Yeah, he's got one
One
Raw, no
Raw.
SmackDown, so he's just got PLEs.
Right.
So whoever he's going against has to be able to be the one to show up and carry the story, just like they did with Lesnar. Lesnar showing up on SmackDown, doing his little thing, and that was it.
I don't think. Hear me out. The Lesnar story to me is not over.
No, it's not.
It's not over. It's not over. I'm not mad that Lesnar won. What I'm kind of disappointed in is the fact that it was a squash match.
Yeah,
Come on, man. I mean, if I understand you're gonna further the story with Brock and Cena, they're gonna have another match, and I understand you setting up something big for Survivor Series. I get that, I understand that, and I have a problem with it. The problem that I have is you just can't have. You did not allow these guys to just have a regular wrestling match. You didn't allow John Cena to show anything, do anything, but what a an
two
attitude
F
adjustment.
two attitude adjustments. Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
since it's his retirement tour, they could have at least went back to the FU. I mean, it became the FU when he was wrestling Brock Lesnar the first time, like their very first go round. That's when it became the FU.
it
They
was
could have at least
named
done a
after.
call back to that.
Yeah, so it made more sense to just let these guys just have a match. Look, we all know what Brock Lesnar match is 8, 9 minutes, and he's out. He's not going to give you 15, 20 minutes. He's not going to do that anymore. And I don't think him and John Cena could put on a good 15, 20 minute match. So 8 to 9 minutes, I'm cool with that. Don't squash John Cena. Let them have like a legit match. Let Brock win. Further the story, which they are doing, which I am kind of surprised they are furthering the story. But don't do that to John Cena on his retirement match. Don't squash him. Don't hype up this match to be your main event or one of your main events, and it turns out to be a squash match. And now you just pissed off not just the fans, ESPN, because they were expecting better.
Well, I think they backed themselves into a corner with focusing so heavy on how many dates he has left. And I think that's why they had it be a squash match so that they could drag this on to at least through another PLE or two because he only has, like we said, like 5 dates left. No Raws, or like one Raw, no SmackDowns. So they need somebody to do exactly what Lesnar did before WrestlePalooza. Lesnar would come out on SmackDown, beat up, Corey Graves, attempt to beat up Michael Cole, yell into the camera for a minute, and it was enough to progress the story forward. There's really nobody else on the roster that you can really do that with that's going to be able to carry the story forward that's going to make any sense.
Now, did you
So they've
see?
kind of backed themselves into a corner of having to use Lesnar to push this. Cena's only going to have two opponents tops left. You're going to get another match with Lesnar, maybe two, because he does have like the 5 dates. You might get two Lesnar matches, and then he's going to get his one send off opponent, which is most likely going to be like Randy Orton or
Now,
something to that effect.
but here's another problem I have. You had Lesnar did what he did on Saturday. Oh, and by the way, did you catch that backstage scene with him and Paul Heyman?
Mm-hmm.
And you see how Paul Heyman came out, introduced him on
Mm-hmm.
Wrestlingpalooza. We won't get to that part. My whole problem with this whole thing, and another problem is that why are you having Cena on Raw and don't have Brock on Raw? Just trying to make it feel like they're gonna be in a match. How you gonna have one guy on Raw, another guy on SmackDown? It don't make no sense. Cena's not on SmackDown anymore. He's on
Cena,
Raw. So you should have
Cena's
just
very
moved Brock to
much.
Raw.
I mean, he's got a ton of projects going on, but he's very much he's not going to go out of his way to help the company anymore. If he's not getting paid to show up there, he ain't going to show up.
No. What I'm saying is, if Cena is on Raw now and he's going to finish up doing his dates on Raw, you should have Brock on there following Cena onto Raw. You know what I'm saying? It makes more
It's bad
sense.
storytelling. It's there's no excuse for it. It's really bad. Again, Triple H and his entire regime of story writers can only focus on one story at a time. And what story is that they're putting all their effort into? CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins. That's the only thing they focus on. Everything else is just cannon fodder. It was the same way that why do you think the Bloodline got all the attention for years? Because it was easy for them. Everything else just it plays out how it plays out. We focus on the Bloodline. Why do you think SmackDown was the better show for all those years? Is it because the show was actually better? No, it's because the only storyline they put any effort into was the Bloodline. That's it.
True, true. So why am I watching this match? And it turned to be a squash match. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's going to happen after that? And then when I watch the tag team match with the Usos and the Vision, and that one was decent, but in a way, you knew the Usos was gonna lose because they had to put over the Vision because the Vision can't continue to lose. They won't take them. It won't be taken serious at all if they continue to lose. So I
Mhm.
see that, and then I see the CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch,
You mean nap time?
and nah, coffee time. Actually got some
That was
coffee this morning.
way longer than a coffee break. That was like a coffee break, smoke break, take a quick power hit, 5-10 minute nap, all in one.
Well, see, I was at a job, so I had
Okay.
to get some coffee because I need to try to
That
stay
was
up
a
on my
long
shit.
match. How long did that match go for? I meant to look at that. I was going to try and see how long it had been on for, but it was long.
It was over 20 minutes.
It was long and it was boring. And it just reiterates that AJ Lee needs to go away.
I don't. No, I don't think she needs to go away.
She needs to
We
go
can
bye bye.
just say you can contribute to it being she been gone for 10 years, and she really did. She really wrestled safe. She didn't really try to take any chances or do anything crazy because she's been gone for 10 years. So she had to
And
get
you really
used to.
think if your highlight show of being on a new network, ESPN, you think that's what they were hoping for?
Of course not. That's why they.
Exactly.
That's why they gave it a C.
Exactly. So you think maybe you should have waited to bring her back, or maybe got her down in the performance center and did some training matches
Well, how
before you bring
about?
her back up?
They could have brought her back sooner
Hmm.
if they would have had told this story a little sooner. Since we all know that they kind of had this in prepare a while back that she was going to make this comeback. Now I'm not saying she didn't train. I'm quite sure she did, but I also say it's a big difference from training in the performance center than being live on TV and doing the stuff that you think you can do, but you really not doing that stuff because you've been gone for 10 years and you really haven't wrestled anybody other than actors on TV. So it's kind of to me, it's kind of like I'm in waiting mode. when she fight Becky Lynch for the title or her next opponent going to be, I'm not expecting AJ Lee again to do anything outrageously because she's been gone for 10 years. I'm more in the camp of I'm going to let her warm up and let her get a few matches in, and then I'll judge how way she looks in the ring. Because if you look at it, she didn't really do anything. CM Punk did most of the work. I mean, to me, that was bad design anyway.
Well, yeah, it was to shield her and make her, not expose how bad she is right now.
Yeah. But
But
again,
again, you got more than enough talent on the women's roster. You did your thing. Time to go. Nobody needs to see you anymore.
well, the
Sounds
problem is,
harsh, but there's
it's
already too
harsh.
much talent.
Yeah, see, and again, who's the bad one here? This guy, because he's not the friendly. Yeah, he's talking well, no, it's just nothing. Nah, it just now they're gonna further that story, her and Becky. And this story gonna be told in multiple matches. This is match number one.
I know. That's why wrestling is not looking very promising right now.
Now, wrestling ain't looking promising right now because neither company is telling compelling stories or doing anything that the fans want to grasp onto. That's why wrestlers felt.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gonna tell this story of Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. More of the AJ Lee than Becky Lynch. Now I don't know if they're gonna put the title on AJ Lee, the IC title. I'm quite sure they have a plan. If they do that, they're gonna roll out some matches for her. But I do expect this between her and Becky Lynch to go on for a while.
Oh, it's
And
going to.
yeah, it's gonna go for a while. Then I kind of think more than likely more than AJ, this gonna help Becky.
Well, it's certainly not going to do AJ Lee any good. I mean, once the novelty wears off that she's back, nobody's going to care, especially if she keeps wrestling like that. Like, you've got, again, we bring her up almost every week. You have people like Sol Ruka waiting to come up, which would quite honestly just mop the floor with anything AJ Lee's ever done. AJ Lee was great in her day. She willingly walked away and decided not to come back. You had your chance, you closed the door. Nobody needs to honor you and give you all this time to come back and take up TV time for people that have been here doing it. That's the way I look at it. Just like CM Punk, making him a main eventer and everything else, you chose to walk away. You threw your hissy fit, you weren't getting your way, and you quit. Same with Naomi and Mercedes Moné. You guys all threw temper tantrums, quit, and walked out the door.
I think it's a little different with Naomi and Mercedes. I just felt they was being disrespected. I felt that they were tag team champions and they want to defend the title as champions, not as singles. And then, that was a Vince McMahon problem. Because Vince didn't want to use neither lady as a tag team. He put the tag team titles on them, would not let them wrestle another women's tag team. Instead, he had them wrestle single matches with tag team titles. Again, stuff that don't make sense. And
Mm-hmm.
then, Vince McMahon, I hate talking about Vince because I don't respect the guy for all the bad things he done. Vince just didn't give a damn. If it didn't make sense to Vince, he's not going to do it.
To a certain degree, yes. But I think Vince cared a whole lot more than what Triple H does because it was still Vince's company at the time. Triple H is just playing with house money. If he gets fired tomorrow, he's just going to say, okay, whatever. I mean, your biggest announcement of the show is that you have Undertaker come out to tell Stephanie McMahon she's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Okay, great. Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff behind the scenes for WWE. I fully acknowledge it, fully appreciate it, blah, 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 blah. She's helped a lot of careers. John Cena probably would have been fired if it wasn't for Stephanie McMahon years ago. I get all that. But the Hall of Fame, for the most part, they do have like the cameraman that got in and some other people and stuff, but this is for like the on-screen talent. So you telling me Stephanie McMahon is really the first person you want to put in for the 2026 class? Compared to a lot of other people that you could have went and highlighted, but no, we're gonna throw Stephanie McMahon in there as the first inductee. Like, come on.
And I have no problem with Stephanie going in right now. Well, in 2026, the first one. I don't have no problem with that. The only thing I'm thinking is Why the rush? Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Triple H went in this year. Stephanie went coming in the following year. Both
This
husband and
goes
wife went in a year. It's going to be going in a year apart. Why the rush? Is there something that we don't know that's coming down the pipeline?
No, it's because, like I talk about every week, Triple H makes the show about himself and his family as much as he can because he's a glory hound.
But this is a Nick Khan thing.
It's not a Nick Khan thing. It's a
I mean,
Triple H thing.
Nick Khan gives last approval, not on the creative.
They
But
might tell you that, but Nick Khan didn't know shit about pro wrestling before he became the president of WWE. He has no clue about any of this stuff. He couldn't tell you what Stephanie McMahon did back in 99 or 2000. He has no idea. This is all a Triple H thing. He's getting all of his little accolades in there for their figurative and fake Hall of Fame. They get their ring, and there's no actual Hall of Fame that you're gonna go check out a bust of Stephanie McMahon and see the little plaque with her name on it or anything. This is just throwing her in there.
I don't know, man. It just feels a little different.
And the reason they rushed it is because they needed another big pop. I wouldn't doubt if, obviously we knew Undertaker was going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if they went after the first match and said, hey, we need to announce something big. Why don't you run down there and tell Stephanie she's getting into the Hall of Fame? Because they've never announced anybody for the following year this early. They've always done it the year of. Like Royal Rumble or something like that is when you usually would get like your first entrant into that year's Hall of Fame. They never do it this early, which kind of leads me to believe we need to throw something out there to get somebody's attention, because Wrestlingpalooza was bad.
Well,
if I would have paid $30 for that, I'd have been pissed.
Oh man, you see all the complaints on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. You see it on all social media. You see the complaints. Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is me on camera. I am being blurred out by Rumble, so let me clean up my potty mouth. They trying to delete a brother right now. If they want a big pop, they could have just said, "Hey, we're going to induct The Rock into the 2026 in WWE Hall of Fame." If they really want a big pop, a major pop, they would have said that. Not nothing against Stephanie, but if they just really seriously want a big pop, they would say, "Hey, we're going to induct The Rock into the Hall of Fame."
I have no problem with Stephanie going in. Like, even for the parts where she was an on-camera presence, and I'm not talking when she was like a GM or anything, but like when the whole Stephanie and Triple H thing was happening, like she had a lot of memorable segments. Some of Jericho's best promos involve Stephanie McMahon. So yeah. I've got no problem with her going in, but it feels extremely forced. And she should never be the first one being announced for a Hall of Fame class. Like, I don't know how you didn't take the time to make John Cena. You inducted Rey Mysterio into the Hall of Fame before he was even done wrestling. How have you not made Cena the first one for 2026?
I don't know. That's a good question. Or even better, you could have announced Chris Jericho.
Oh, they're not going to do Jericho. Until Jericho's completely done with AEW, won't happen.
I'm just
Edge, same thing.
Well, I don't see Edge or Christian no time soon. Even when they get finished with AEW, no time soon. I'm just saying, like
they would have to do Edge. They would have to just based on
no. They're going to do him. They're going to. I'm sorry. I'm going to rephrase that. They're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. I just don't see it a year after he's done with AEW.
No, it'd probably be around 2 or 3 years after, but they can't wait too long because based on accolades, you've got people like the Natural Disasters in there.
Hey, I'm still waiting on Demolition to get in.
Demolition? I mean, if you're going by accolades only, the Demolition should technically be in there. And they should have got in there before the Natural Disasters.
Well, they should have got in a decade ago.
But, I mean, that's the problem when you don't have a real Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah.
If they just stopped doing the Hall of Fame, I don't think anybody would really notice. Because, again, it's not like people are going to Canton to go see the WWE Hall of Fame, So I'm sure people would notice right around WrestleMania, like, wait, we didn't have a Hall of Fame ceremony or something, but it doesn't really matter. All it is you basically get a Legends contract out of the deal, which means you get to show up on TV once in a while, and you get a ring.
You're right. And before we touch on the EO and Stephanie Vicare match, I want to talk about the Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre match, in which that match went as we thought it would go.
It went as we thought it would go, and it really annoyed me to listen to the commentary of, oh, something's wrong with Cody, and oh, that kick that he had, and it's like, how are you going to do Drew McIntyre so dirty? Like, I get you, he was always going to lose, but then you're like making excuses during the broadcast of, oh, Cody lost his balance because he got kicked in the head, blah blah blah, and then obviously the ref did screw him, so they're going to do something with that.
I
Like,
was going to get to that.
it's just dumb. The whole thing is dumb. Anything that Cody Rhodes is involved in is just basically stupid.
My problem with the whole match is that they had a match. That's I'm serious, man. That's my whole problem was that they had a match that we knew Cody's gonna win. How we knew Cody was gonna win? Because they announced champion versus champion at Crown Jewel. You're not having two heels fighting each other at Crown Jewel. So that was my problem. They gave the way who was gonna win the match before the match even happened. So we knew
Which
Cody was gonna win.
which has always been a WWE problem because their marketing people are just some of the worst people in the world. Like, I don't know how they can get away with, or not get away with, planning out like, hey, this event hasn't happened, so maybe we shouldn't put out marketing for this yet. But it's the easiest way. You can go back and see multiple times. You'd know who was going to win major back in the day when they were pay per views. You'd know who would win major pay per views because they'd already be advertising the next one.
Yeah. I mean, just two things here. One, just go ahead and tell us you're setting up war games without saying you're setting up war games. Because we already know who's in it. Just by Wrestlepalooza, just by how you guys set these matches up, and just by who wins or losses, and even with Cody Rhodes, in my opinion, going to be part of War Games. It don't make sense why he would be part of War Games, but he's going to be part of War Games because he's going to fight Seth Rollins. And why he'll be part of War Games? More than likely, Seth Rollins is going to beat Cody Rhodes because what Cody Rhodes said on Monday Night Raw. You're 0-4 against me, man. That's going to weigh on Seth Rollins. Then he challenged Seth Rollins that you can't beat me without your group. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I got away from the Cody Rhodes and the Drew McIntyre match. But honestly, there's nothing to talk about the match because Cody won. Drew got screwed. And what that's going to lead to is Drew going to demand a rematch. He's going to talk to Nick Aldis. He's going to demand a rematch. He's going to get his rematch. And when he get his rematch, he's going to lose. Why? Because you want to make your champion look good. You need Cody to win so Cody could further on his story as being the top guy, the top champion on SmackDown. In reality, he shouldn't even have the belt. Just being honest here. He shouldn't have the belt.
I can't stand Cody when he's a babyface. His whole shtick of being a babyface is super annoying. I prefer him when he's a heel, and the faster that they can get to him being a heel, I'll be far less annoyed. Um, the whole I want to be everything to everybody all the time and blah blah blah, always cheerful, like it just wears thin. Just let him get worn out to the point of he's tired of keeping up the gimmick. He wants to be a heel. He's just going to be himself. It's just going to be better, especially with him having the belt. The whole I'm a good guy all the time, blah blah blah. Like Cena could naturally pull it off, and that's hard to do. I mean, we talked about Tiffany Stratton doing the interview where she's talking about how hard it is to be a baby face all the time, and I give him credit. It's hard to not snap certain ways when you're doing like promos and stuff, but Cody is just insufferable.
No, it's just that being a face is not natural. None of these guys feel natural being a face. Like you said, John Cena could pull it off. The late Hulk Hogan pulled it off. The Rock pulled it off. It doesn't feel natural being a face. It kind of sucks to say, man, DS, you trying to say it's not natural being a good guy? Yeah, it's not natural. Being a heel, you can say whatever you want, do what you want, get away with it, and it's natural. Because we all have those tendencies to do bad things. Nobody, I'm being honest here, even in the real world, nobody have a natural to do good things and actually do good things and mean it. It's not natural.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. It's not natural unless you're helping your mom or your grandmother. Yeah, helping your wife, taking care of your kids. Yeah, that's natural because that's your responsibility. But most of us doing something good naturally, that's unheard of. So that's why when you hear these Stephanie Vicariolati, these wrestlers, man, it's hard being a face. It's hard being a face because it's nothing natural about being a face. And to me, it's you either a heel or you're a tweener.
Yeah. His promos just every time he starts talking, I just get irritated. I just
Well,
need him to go away. I was happier watching wrestling when Cody was in AEW, and I wasn't watching AEW.
no, it's not irritating. You can tell the effort that he's trying to do it and be a face, man. And sometimes it's a struggle. And it's just not Cody; it's a lot of them. I mean, look at Drew McIntyre when he made him a face. It wasn't. It was believable, but it was a struggle. Even with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, well, that's the WWE's problem is they want to make everybody a face, and then they're like, "Whoa, well, what do? We don't have anybody to go against them." Oh, that's what happens when you make everybody a face because you want all of your people to be loved.
When not, when
That's part of the problem with wrestling now, with the whole social media thing and encouraging all your stars to get out there and use it. Like, why do you think Undertaker had to get out when he did? A, he was already overdue to get out, but a character like the Undertaker sending out tweets doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
no, it don't make
Character like Bray
sense.
Wyatt sending out a lot of tweets doesn't make sense.
No,
Like,
it don't make sense when you try to make the Undertaker human. His
yeah,
character human. Ain't no damn. Never mind. That's for another day. So the WWE, without telling us, is saying that they're setting up war games. We know all the main characters. We know who the participants. Now it's about getting from here to Perth to war games. And you already see it's going. You already see it. It's Seth. It's Division. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and the insurance policy Brock Lesnar. Now it's interesting. I said that because you kind of see that. That's why you see Paul is in good with Brock. Brock is his insurance policy. Brock will be part of War Games. The thing is, though, we didn't get that interaction between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman about Brock Lesnar. We didn't get that. We kind of needed that interaction. Like, yo, what's going on here? What's going on between you and Brock? We didn't get that conversation. We didn't get that part. We didn't get the. We just don't know. We just don't know. We just don't know how they're gonna get from A to B to C.
are we sure that they're even going to do an actual War Games this year, not just Survivor Series?
Yeah, I think they'll do War Games. I think so. And it makes sense because Roman Reigns is advertised.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, he's not going to do a one-on-one match at Survivor Series. He hasn't done one of those in a very long time.
Well, I guess they are promoting it as Survivor Series War Games, so yeah, I
Yeah,
guess so.
yeah, one for the men, one for the women.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right, so if we're gonna do War Games, who on the babyface you gonna have? The Usos? Are you gonna have the Usos, CM Punk, John Cena, and Roman Reigns?
Cena won't be involved in it.
Wait, if
Cena will
Brock's
have a singles
involved.
match.
Well, if Brock's involved, then you
I
got to
don't
put
think
Cena.
Brock will be involved in a War Games match.
So
There's no reason to ever with Brock's status in the company and the way they use him. using him in a tag team match or anything like that is a giant waste of time.
Well, I'm only
And
saying
they
that.
made it clear that he's back. This isn't just a one thing. Like during Wrestlepalooza, they made it clear that he's like back now.
Right. And
So
I'm only saying that because of the inclusion of him with Heyman. That's just my theory. That's what I'm saying. That unless they're gonna get another member other than Becky Lynch.
no, I think that they might do a swerve and actually take Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed out of the Vision and align them with Brock Lesnar because both of those guys fit better under a Brock Lesnar than they do a Seth Rollins.
But they still be with Paul Heyman.
They would be with Heyman with Lesnar, yes. That would leave Becky and Seth on their own. The Vision is not a long term plan. Like just the group of
Well,
people
no.
you assembled together, it doesn't work.
So basically, you're saying that Becky and Seth were Bradshaw would be away from them, do their own thing,
Hmm.
and Heyman would have these three guys.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at the styles of wrestling and everything. There's far more benefit if Brock really is going to be back for any period of time. It makes far more sense to have them aligned with Brock Lesnar and Heyman than with Seth Rollins and Heyman.
Yeah, but Brock is not the type of guy who will be in a group.
At this point, he's not wrestling for world titles. He's not doing any of that kind of stuff. So if it's Heyman pulling the strings story wise of hey, let these guys watch you, learn how you do things, how you handle things, so be it. That's all it is. Where I mean, in the Vision now, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are just basically the hitmen.
Future tag team champions. Future tag team champions. And I hear my tag team partner saying, I understand his logic where he's coming from with it. I just think that Brock, well, let me phrase that. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, I don't think they're gonna leave the division. I think they're gonna stay in the division. I just think Brock Lesnar would be the insurance policy. And I kind of think he would be part of War Games. If not involved in the match, but he would be involved in War Games at some capacity. Hey, welcome back.
We're not a perfect show. My headphones died, so I had to swap the battery out real quick.
Hey, man, a lot of things that just be dying around us. Camera, headphones, microphones. I'm sorry, Rumble, you guys are still alive. My bad.
Yeah.
Rumble gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about? We still here." No,
But
but overall, we won't finish up with the WWE Wrestlepalooza. Overall, the show was bad.
it was. I mean, Io and Stephanie was the one bright spot, which I figured it
Yeah,
would.
and then yeah,
The Lesnar Cena thing was a much bigger disappointment than I thought it would be. Especially because Cena did just have like probably two of the best matches, not probably two of the best, but I would say the two best matches of his career, his last two matches. And then you have him go out and just get face rolled that hard.
yeah,
Didn't make a whole lot of sense.
nah. I agree with you on that one. Io and Stephanie was the best match, and they made the right call as we seen on Monday, where they're going with Io. And the only thing that I want them WWE to do is do right by Stephanie, give her some quality opponents, to let her be able to go in this ring, tell the story, give her someone that she can work with, and do a lot with Stephanie. As we can tell on Monday, her English has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all know that was the main thing about Stephanie that WWE had a little problem with her was her English. So now her English is getting better. I hope the way they introduce her to the WWE will continue to get better.
I'm not worried about Stephanie. Even if she only held the title for one PLE and lost it, I'd be fine because they're not going to go much longer without giving the belt back to Rhea Ripley.
Well, I
And
can't.
Stephanie's not going anywhere. So she's got plenty of more title runs. Like, she could very well be talked about as beating Charlotte Flair's record. Like, I have no doubt that that's where it's heading. but she's going to have plenty of time. This is just kind of like the initial run. How's things going to shape up with her? How's it looking? How much of the fans going to be behind her? Which we already know they're completely behind her. So
Absolutely.
I don't see her having the title for very long because they've got to get it back on Rhea Ripley.
Well, I don't. This is where I disagree with you. I don't think Rhea gonna have the title no time soon, especially if she in a feud with Asuka and Kyrie with EO.
That's
And
not
we
going to last that long.
It's gonna be a few matches there. There's
There's
gonna
going to
be
be
a
a
few
couple
matches there.
matches, but it's not going to run for like 6 months.
No,
There's not a whole
no,
lot.
no, no. It's not gonna be no 6 months type thing. I just think that Rhea, as popular as she is right now, she doesn't need a title right now. I would like for the WWE to keep the title on Stephanie until it's time to take her off. I don't want them to take it off for like a month or so and give it to Rhea.
Oh, I'm
No,
not saying they're going to. I'm just saying
yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem if they
right,
did.
right. I want them to build something up to her and Rhea. Once Rhea gets done with this feud with Asuka and Kyrie, how long ago, I want them to build something up to Stephanie and Rhea so that when it's time for them to get in that ring, all right, cool, we got something we can bite our teeth in. We got a good story right here. And I want them to honestly, I kind of want them to stop doing this Rhea thing where we all know Rhea is cool back in the locker room. We know everybody loves her, but I want that other part of Rhea back. That Rhea that's hungry, that Rhea that's ready to kick your butt, that Rhea that's gonna go into the ring and smash your face in. I need that Rhea back. I don't need this
That's
Rhea that
because
we got right
WWE
now.
wants everybody to be a face.
Yeah, I need the other Rhea back. I need
I
that
will say
mommy
Rhea
Rhea.
Ripley is a lot more boring now than what she was a year ago. And that's all because of the character change that they make her do. Because they want, if they're liked, kids are going to want T-shirts. That's all it is. Is it's just forcing merch. When you're a heel, heels don't sell nearly as much merch. They just don't.
That's true. But even then, we still had that in between. We had that mommy Rhea, and she was a badass. And we need to get back to her getting that badass. Not to this. Ever since she left, ever since she lost to EO, her character just in ring character just went downhill to me.
It happened before that. Once they separated her from Damian Priest, she's just kind of she had a little direction with the Liv Morgan thing, with Liv Morgan coming back. Obviously, that was easy to grasp onto. Liv gets hurt again, and now she's just kind of floating out there in space, and WWE doesn't know what to do with her. That's why she's been relegated to backstage segments for the most part until Monday.
If we don't go that far, we can go all the way back to Dominic when they broke them up.
Oh yeah, when they broke them up, but I mean, at least they did the Terror Twins thing for what, a month,
Yeah, and they was
and,
killing everybody.
and then they just like, okay, we're done with this. We're gonna separate you guys
All
and
right, you
have a
SmackDown, you
good day. Yeah, we're gonna separate you guys. We have something that works. We know it works, but we're gonna do something different. Bye.
yeah, yeah, I know.
Like you killed Damian Priest's momentum. You killed Rhea Ripley's momentum, and that's a whole separate conversation. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
is. It is. It is.
it's just how manufactured pro wrestling is. It's just you can make people, you can break people. There's very, very few times where a wrestler can force themselves to get over with the crowd because they have the control to take you off TV. They have the control, especially now with how much crowd noise that they pump in, because people love mob mentality. If somebody starts chanting something, it forces other people to start chanting, which forces other people to start chanting. And that's a lot of people don't realize how much of that crowd noise that started is pumped in to get the crowd to react that way.
Well, we all know that they don't know that. We know that they don't know that. But congratulations to Stephanie on winning. She made me happy.
I
She
mean,
actually made
I
me cry. I'm just saying, man. She's celebrating with her father, man. That was a heartfelt moment there.
uh, I mean, I was fine with her winning. I was still sad because of my love for Io Sky. She's just the best to me. So I was a
Hey,
little sad, but I was happy. I mean, I it's not like I was overjoyed because she's going to be a champion. Her, Julia, they are the future, along with Tiffany Stratton. Hopefully, Bianca Belair if she can freshen up her gimmick, Rhea, like that's your next 10 years. Slowly Bailey's going to fall off, slowly Becky's going to fall off. The sooner we can get Nikki Bella off of TV, the better. You know, you've got your next 10 years of like that group of women right
Oh,
there, and they're all going to have probably 8 to 10 championship runs apiece.
bro, I'll be not be surprised if Nikki Bella be in your DMs talking about what the hell.
Oh, I know. I'm going to get the Wade Barrett treatment.
Oh God.
I don't even see anything wrong that Wade Barrett said. Like I
He
get
did
what
say,
she was saying about her age, but like you're 40 some years old. Yeah, you probably lost a step. Guess what? Michael Jordan lost a step when he got into his 40s too. It happens.
hey, look, prime example, your ex fiance lost a step, or
Yeah.
two, or three, or seven. But hey, who's counting? Who's counting? Who's counting?
But you know what? He still shows that he can really turn it on when he needs to. Had
Yep.
probably the two best matches of his career in the last 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. 30 minutes or less.
You give him a hot 12 minutes to do a match, he's going to give you a great 12 minutes. That's about it.
So you saying Cody carried the other 18? Gotcha. So moving on to AEW. And another show that was so boring that even the crowd in Toronto didn't even cheer or pop. The only time you heard them cheer from what I've heard and seen was when the hometown guys, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, came out. Other than that, this is another show that was just bad. It was bad because the WWE took the spotlight from them. The WWE took the talk from AEW All Out and made it about Wrestlingpalooza. And what All Out happened, All Out did AEW didn't do themselves no favors. All Out. It is funny because y'all hear Jamie talking about friendly, family friendly, right? AEW came out and said they're family friendly. But yet you had John Moxley set on fire. You had a coffin match. Same participants. You had MJF versus Mark Briscoe in a tables and I don't know
Thumbtacks.
what was it?
Thumbtacks, not
Thumb
thumbnails. Thumbtacks.
thumbtacks match. You had your women's champion at the time. Tony Storm had her Kit Kat staple. Hey man, I can't say what I want to say, but yeah,
I mean, to be fair, they did that on Dynamite. Yeah, Dynamite, like the week before too, they did that to her, which was also weird because she was wearing
yeah.
like coveralls and stuff, and it was like, what are you
What
doing?
the fuck? You had her VV. You had the V tape. You had the V staple. What the heck is?
To be fair, I think they've done a pretty good job moving away from the family friendly label. Um, AEW to me now is kind of like a hybrid of ECW and WWE's Attitude Era is kind of what they're going for, is trying to find a balance in there. The reason it worked with ECW is because it was organic. That's just how they merged into it naturally. They embraced it, and they had guys that were willing to just do that night in and night out. AEW, Darby Allen, and now that Jungle Boy is back, he's another one. They intentionally try to push things, and it makes it feel forced, and that's what makes it just feel dumb. Like ECW, you had like Rob Van Dam with the Van Daminator. Throw the chair in the guy's face and kick him in the face. Like things like that would happen. You had the Dudleys that did the tables and stuff, and it was consistent, but it was like just part of their characters. Everything EC or AEW is doing, it feels like they're forcing the issue. And I
bro.
mean,
What?
it goes back to Jungle Boy getting into the fight with CM Punk because they wanted to go through a real car window, and he was advising them against it, and they did it anyway. And luckily, Jungle Boy didn't cut himself up. But look what happened when Goldberg, way back in the day, decided to punch out a window, severed an artery in his hand. Could have killed him. If they didn't have medical staff there, he could have bled out.
AEW is a bigger version of GCW. It is, man. It is. AEW is just a major promotion, a bigger promotion of GCW. If you just want to be a hardcore, come just say you want to do hardcore stuff all the time, 24/7. I respect that more.
Well, that's why I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just like, because you're kind of right,
It is, man. It is.
but
If you want to be a ECW knockoff, just say you want to be an ECW knockoff. And
I
you just have hardcore wrestlers 24/7.
I think they've also the fact that they've been in Philadelphia. I think they've purposely tried to amp it up a little bit because of that. Um, the thing with ECW was that you had everything in ECW. You had the best luchadors in the world at the time. This is before they all went to WCW because Bischoff saw them and offered them ridiculous contracts that Heyman couldn't keep up with. But you had the best luchadors in the world at one point. You had some of the best technical wrestlers in the world with Lance Storm, Jerry Lynn, Van Dam. Those guys could really go in the ring. You had Dean Malenko there. You had Jericho there. You had guys that could actually wrestle and out wrestle basically anybody at the time all in that company. But then you also had the hardcore guys. You had the New Jacks, the Dudleys, the Eliminators. You had all those kind of guys. So ECW gave you everything. Where in that period of like the mid to late '90s, WWE was still giving you characters like IRS, and WCW was giving you the guys that were 10 years past their prime.
And using their real names.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody. I don't think anybody has ever said, "I'm buying a ticket to this pay-per-view event to go watch Kevin Nash wrestle."
Well, not because we want to see the outsiders.
No, you wanted to see Scott Hall. Kevin Nash just got to be the anchor that Scott Hall had to drag around. That's probably what led him to drink so much, but that's a whole different topic.
Man, but
Um,
if Kevin Nash knock on your door, man, please don't. Please call me. Please
the
call
good
me.
thing is I'm about as tall as his nuts, so it's a quick headbutt to the nuts, and then I run. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring the levity to the show.
Oh God. Oh God. We got
I'm
nuts.
a violent 5'9". Let's put it that way. So
So on this show so far, we talking about headbutt to the nuts and your vagina getting stapled. All
you
right.
said that, not me.
It's facts.
It's true, and that's like 2 weeks in a row she's had that done to her. So you have to wonder what's going on down there because they did it to her on Dynamite when she wrestled. What's her face? Who was that?
I don't know, but I guess nobody didn't want to smell it.
I mean, you gotta staple it up shut and keep it closed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite sure Juice Robinson might have a problem with it, but hey, that's his business.
Let me. Who was that?
Was it Sky Blue
I think it was Sky Blue. Yeah.
or Thekla?
No, I think it was Sky Blue.
Okay, Julia Hart could be
No,
Sky
it wasn't
Blue.
Julie Hart. They came
It
out
was
at the end. It was Sky
okay.
Blue. I just
It was
looked it
Sky
up. It was
Blue.
a street
Okay,
fight.
okay. So again, AEW is a major promotion, bigger promotion of GCW. If they want to be hardcore, the best wrestle with hardcore. Matter of fact, that sounds like a good idea. The best wrestle with hardcore. Tony Khan need to pay us for that one. I want that check. Me and James deserve that check. But it is, man. I mean, every other match was a hardcore match. Every other match, it had to have blood. I mean, if you want blood and guts, just call it all out blood and guts. Seriously.
Which they have another show called Blood and
Blood
Guts or
and
something
guts.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was disappointed because when I watched the Adam I'm sorry, Heyman Adam Page and a Kyle Fletcher match, and Fletcher, of course, he lost. I just got it to my mind like, man, this young man got squashed. This young man got buried. He's gonna go back to defending his TNT title, and he's gonna give a fight bunch of nothings. And they're not gonna build him up like the way he should be built up. So it goes back to what I said, what you said, what everybody else was saying. Why put him in the match that he's gonna get squashed in?
Well, the problem is look at who's injured for them. Their
I
top
understand.
three
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
basically out.
yeah. There's a lot of guys are out, but but you have a guy who has a contract who can cash in at any time in a week advance to be a legitimate threat, a legitimate threat to Heyman Adam Page and MJF. You could have wrapped this up with Mark Briscoe and MJF on a Dynamite or Collision. Because really, that's what their match is, a Dynamite match. It is not a pay-per-view match. It's not a match where everybody gonna sit there and get excited for it, because MJF wasn't excited for the match. Give him a lot of credit that he got in the ring with Mark Briscoe, because Mark Briscoe is not a slouch. But it's not the type of match where I'm gonna watch on the pay-per-view. It's the type of match I'm gonna watch on Dynamite. That match should be on Dynamite. You should have had MJF against Heyman Adam Page, cash in that contract, and let the better man win.
I will say I didn't think that they were going to let Mark Briscoe win that match.
No,
So maybe
MJF
they
put him
are.
over. A lot of credit. He put him over.
Well, yeah, I'm. They must be planning to do something with Mark Briscoe that they were going to let him beat MJF in a match like that. Um, I
But
just,
what? They never
I,
followed through.
yeah. Well, that's the problem. Is Tony Khan books like he's a fan, and that's a problem. Instead of booking to tell proper stories, he just books like a fan, and that's why a lot of these stories never go anywhere.
Yeah,
The
and then
angles, and then like Wardlow, we've talked about. Wardlow gets really, really hot, and then you don't see him on TV. Not because he's hurt, but he's just they don't do anything with him, and then he comes back, he gets hurt, he's out for a long period of time, you forget about him. But Tony Khan books like he's a fan. It's whatever's hot on his mind at the time is what he pushes, and then he's on to something else.
it just, yeah, that's true. And he kills the momentum. It pains me. It actually pisses me off to see that there's a lot of guys in the back, like that Brian. I can't even fucking say his name. I'm sorry, Brian Danielson, who has the ear and respect of Tony Khan, could tell this man, let him know, yo, you killing all these momentum where you just told a story and you don't follow through. You're killing their momentum. You're killing them, because now the fans are prepared not to see them for the next 2 or 3 months. You gotta book it, man. Book it
Well,
right.
Daniel
And
Bryan or Brian Danielson, whatever
where
they
the
call
fuck his
him,
name is?
he he's making his play to take over Ring of Honor. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, they asked him about if he'd be willing to take over Ring of Honor, and he said he was all for it if Tony will let him do it. So
I don't have no problem with that.
I don't have a problem with it, but they need to focus on the show that makes them money. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm reaching out to Freddie Prince Jr., somebody that has a history of writing shows, that was writing quality stories, who actually loves wrestling. Reach out to him, get him on contract, and fix your show.
Well, I hear you on that, man, but you got to focus on all your shows, because Ring of Honor has opportunity and a chance to make you some money.
It
You
does,
have
but
the
you've
talent
got
down
people that
there.
want to do it.
Yeah, you have, but you have talent down at Ring of Honor. I mean, you showcasing them on Dynamite and Collision, so that's telling me you have some talent down there. Just use them. If you give Brian Dance an opportunity to run Ring of Honor, you have to focus on all your shows to make money, because you're losing a lot of money with what's that, Collision. You lose them, you ain't making nothing with Ring of Honor, and your main show, your A show, what, 200,000 in demos?
Well, that's my point of why you have to fix that show, because if you saw the thing, they Warner Brothers Discovery basically told them they're free to look for a new TV opportunity, which basically means if that merger happens with Paramount,
You're
they're not going to
done.
have it. You're not going to have a TV network.
No,
So they need to fix their their main show first being Dynamite, you need to go hire somebody that has experience writing, that knows how to write, and Freddie Prinze Jr. fits that mold perfectly.
You
And
know
he's
what
the
should have
fan.
been? You know what should have been that would have got them back on track? That would probably would have put I don't know, a kick in the butt. Was when Warner Bros. Discovery was interested in the WWE against Raw
Hmm.
or even or SmackDown. That should have tell you everything you needed to know what they were interested in. And they have AEW.
Hmm.
So if you're Tony Khan and you seen that the TV TNT TBS Warner Bros. Discovery is more interested in getting Raw or SmackDown. Hell, I'm probably quite sure they would have took NXT and they have you guys.
Hmm.
So that would have told me they don't care about AEW, especially now since they about to merge or be bought out. Hey, go find a TV contract somewhere. Who's gonna take them?
Well, and they're not the only one that's having issues. I mean,
I mean, no,
ESPN's
no,
going to have
W
an
yeah,
issue.
yeah,
WWE's
W
going to have an issue
issues.
with. You've got ESPN has interest in Monday Night Football and WWE now. So what are you going to do? Are you going to move Raw to Tuesdays? They're already trying to experiment the thing with the whole 7 o'clock start time.
Well, you
Oh
talking about
well,
on Netflix?
yeah, on Netflix. But do you think
No, no, no,
WWE's
they can't go. They can't compete with Monday Night Football. I mean, no,
exactly? So
nobody's
why
gonna
don't
want.
you just move the show to Tuesday? Especially because when you're on a streamer like that, you don't have to hold the schedules.
Well, no, I think they. Well, if you look at it, Monday Night Football is up going to what about January?
Hmm.
So everybody know, even WWE knows that they're gonna lose viewership. They're gonna lose money on Monday nights during the football season. They will
Hmm.
regain that once football seasons are over with. Those
So
numbers will
why
go
not
back
move the
up.
show to Tuesdays during football season?
And because they
Nobody
stubborn.
cares about NXT.
Yeah, because they stubborn and they're not going to do that.
I mean, their whole solution is, oh, we're going to move it to 7 o'clock. And I was reading, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was reading it from Triple H or Nick Khan. I can't remember. And they're like, oh, our show will be wrapping up, right around the start of the fourth quarter. You think that's going to help you? People are going to watch the football game over watching Raw. Like, most Americans are going to watch all of a Monday night football game over watching Raw. So unless you're going to start putting actual championship matches where somebody could actually win, like McFoley back in the day, that's the only thing you're going to be able to do to draw fans from Monday Night Football.
Well, no, that's still won't still not going to happen. I mean,
I know it's not.
they,
That's why
they
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 need to just
can
move it to
right
Tuesdays.
right yeah they can load the show up and have all the major stars from SmackDown on Raw. That's still they will still completely get blown out the
If
door.
you're willing to move the show to 7 o'clock on Monday, you should be willing to move the show to Tuesday during football season.
Even better, why just move it to Wednesday?
You could do that too if you wanted to.
If you want to, if everybody want a true head-to-head competition between AEW, WWE, like back in the day with WWE went up against Monday Night Nitro, go ahead, let's go to Wednesday. Let's see what
Now,
happens.
I get right now, like they've got arenas booked, things like that, and they're not going to pre-record it because everybody would know the results. With as widespread as wrestling and stuff is on the internet, everybody would know the results within 5 minutes. So moving forward, they should plan for next football season to move it to Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Save yourself the headache. Why compete? Nobody's going to beat the NFL. As much as I hate saying that, because the NFL is rigged to all hell, and the proof happens every week, but just
Oh
move
yeah,
your
yeah.
show
I
until
do
the
one
season's
better.
over.
They should move SmackDown. They should move SmackDown to a different time or a different day because if you look at it, it's just a matter of time. Because college football is already on Friday. It
I've
just
never been a fan. I was a fan of Thursday. Thursday was always my favorite day for
yeah.
SmackDown. I never liked when they moved it to Friday to begin with.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time until you start seeing some major big games on Friday night, and
Hmm.
nobody's going to watch it. It's just a matter of
Well,
time.
it's
Even now, you can't move it to Thursdays because now you got Thursday night football.
hmm well, that's why they moved to Friday to begin with. Nobody wants to admit that, but that's the whole reason they moved to Friday was to get away from Thursday night football.
Right, and like I said, it just will be a matter of time till the college football, we have major games on Friday, major games on Saturday. And then
Well,
you definitely ain't gonna compete with the NFL on Sunday.
it's going to happen because the first network that offers some exclusivity with a major contract to the NCAA is going to get a Friday game or two.
Oh,
It's going to happen.
I believe it's gonna be NBC, in which they have the rights to the Big Ten, and
Mhm.
don't be surprised if you see like a down the road. Don't be surprised if you see a Michigan and I'm just throwing Michigan or Penn State game on a Friday night, or a Michigan or Oregon game on a Friday night. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. But enough of that. I enjoyed the first match. I enjoyed Christian Adam Copeland versus FTR match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The right team won. My only thing after that is where you go from here, because it's to me how much I enjoyed the match. A lot was missing from the match. Mainly, it should have been for the tag team championships.
Hmm.
It should have been for the tag team championships. Unfortunately, it's not. And I like to see them run this back. It makes sense to run this back.
Yeah. I don't know if adding Beth Phoenix or Beth Copeland or whatever they're calling her now was the right time to do that. I get it. They're in Toronto, this and that. That's probably why they did it. But it did, the timing felt off of it,
It was
especially because there, if this was two teams that were completely removed from the tag team title picture and things like that, and this was like just a grudge match kind of thing, that's one thing. But you're talking about two teams that could be challenging for the tag titles. So then she's just going to get lost in the shuffle, or is she going to be the reason that Christian and Edge win, or Christian and Cope win the tag titles?
well. I think this is. I don't think it's. I think it's a one off as far as her being involved in this story.
I don't think so
I
because
don't
they gave her
expect
the
to see
spike
her.
pile driver, so they're going to try and build something off of that.
They can, or they can just, hey, Belle was involved in this match as a one time thing, and now she's gonna move on to something else. Heck, I kind of felt if it wasn't gonna be Belle, might as well could have brought back Gangrel,
I mean, that would have been great, but
get the Brood back together.
I mean, Edge tried to do that in WWE when he came out to wrestle Finn Balor when he did the whole blood thing,
Yeah,
and they told him no. Like they had it all worked out. Gangrel said he'd do it, and all the way up until like 2 days or 3 days before the event, that it was all planned. And then they're like, "Yeah, we don't need him to come up." And
yeah.
that's when you got
Again,
him coming up just by himself out of the ramp.
yeah. Again, that was a Vince McMahon.
Hmm.
I enjoyed this match, and I hope we get a second match. These guys, of all the matches that night, these guys brung it, and but it wasn't the best match. It wasn't the best match. The best match is one we about to talk about right now. Okada in his was a fatal four way
Hmm.
for his unified continental
Unified Continental
Intercontinental championship.
Yeah, yeah, that whole thing.
My takeaway from that match is what happened at the end of the match was when Don Callis was happy that Okada won, and Takesha was just he just like Don Callis just kind of played him. He played him without saying he was going to play him, but he played him, and you can tell that this is going to be probably one of the best rivalries if it's told right in AEW. I cannot wait to these two guys go one on one.
One day we're gonna get you to say Takashita's name right.
Nope.
Um,
That's nope, because that's Tony Schiavone said that name, and I hear everybody else say it. They say Takesha. Takesha. So
I
until
mean,
they
nobody
get
wants to
corrected,
remember Kesha. Nobody wants to remember Kesha.
yeah. So until they correct themselves, I'm not being corrected.
Okay, fine.
Screw you, Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone. If there's ever an announcer in all of wrestling that I just despise, it's Tony Schiavone.
Hey, you and a lot of WWE fans despise him.
I mean, I hated him in WCW. Like his announcing style is terrible. His voice, ugh, it just drives me nuts. So I'm glad he's taken a step back from announcing because I don't think he's doing Dynamite or no, he's not doing Dynamite anymore, but he does Collision, and I don't really ever watch Collision, so I don't have to hear him now. So
Yeah, don't worry about it. Nobody watches Collision.
yeah, I'm surprised they actually still have it on the air. But um, Okada and Takesha, I'll say it for you, Takesha. They need to keep pushing those guys up because they need to keep grasping at the international audience. They're already having a problem in the States. We know that. We see the attendance of their shows. We see the viewership numbers that get put out every week. They have a problem here. They're going to have to build it up. The one hope that they have is that they can pull over an international audience. If they're really, really smart, they would take one of the luchadors and get them involved and kind of make like a whole international triangle out of the whole thing to really get like the Hispanic audience, because it's not just Mexico. You're going to get that whole area, South America, Central America, Puerto Rico, Cuba, like all those countries are all big wrestling communities. And they got to do something to boost the viewership numbers big time.
They do. But, they really, I can't think of a luchador or Hispanic wrestler in AEW that I like. I mean,
And
there's
that's the
not.
problem is the two best ones are gone. And that was Ray Phoenix and Penta.
There you go.
And that's why I'm saying like Luchasaurus doesn't really fit that mold.
Yeah, but he's not. No.
He's back to gonna be. I mean, it's Jungle Express again. He's back. He's not Kill Switch anymore. But yeah, that's kind of where I was when I was saying it. Is like I don't really know who they have at this point that can really fit that bill. So, but they've got to do something. Like they need to think that like every show is their last show and make sure they're putting their best effort to tell stories and put on the best quality matches and draw in as many people as they can because they've got to find a new TV deal. If they don't have a TV deal, they're basically done.
Well, they halfway there, my guy. Okada, that his match was great, and now hoping there will build more to that match. I want them to tell that story right. And I'm sorry, everybody, if you hear me say tell that story right, because that's truly is a rival right there. It's a rival that needs to be told because Takesha is following Okada footsteps in a way, and Okada, both guys from Japan. Okada has always been the standard bearer over there, and now you got an up and young comer who's trying to not only make a name for himself, but he also trying to be the man. And not only that, these two guys in the ring together, like we seen at All Out, undeniably would be a main event match. Would easily be a main event match. Even AEW should be a main event match if these guys wrestle each other. So I'm hoping my guy Takesha will be in the Continental Tournament, and I hope he wins it and fight Okada. And let's see who's the best one on one. Who's the best? Because to me, these are the two best wrestlers in the company. You can tell me, you can give me a list of names of anybody. They're not better than these two. MJF is the best wrestler by far, just on wrestling gimmick. Yeah, MJF. But these guys, on the technical point, hands down, you can't name me two more. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, having Mascara, it wasn't a fatal four-way, it was a three-way match, but having him in that match, he was just strictly there to take the pin. Because they're not going to let Takashita look weak. They're definitely not going to let Okada look weak. Um, but as far as the quality of what those two could do, as long as they don't rush it, you could have with those two and the star power that they can bring, if you take it slow and do it right, you could have another Hulk Hogan versus Sting when they brought Sting back as the whole Crow thing.
You
You could
can.
have a long build up like that. Obviously, they're not going to wait a year to get in the ring together. They've already been in the ring together. But you could tell a quality story that people would be interested in over a long period of time.
You can, because this was the only thing that was missing from Okada's resume is being a household name in the States.
Uh-huh.
My good friend has been in the States for a while. He built up his name in the States, and he built his name over there in Maple Leaf Wrestling. So we know who he is. We've seen him put on A++ matches. This is the only thing Okada was missing. So now, since he's been here, he hasn't wrestled a lot. But when he does wrestle, it's man, it's been a classic. It's been a classic Okada match when he wrestles. So you're right. Tell this though slow, build it up. But these two guys could put on an instant classic if they do it right. Don't rush it. I don't want to see these guys in the ring in the next month or two. I don't want to see that. Let's work our way to your next major pay per view and have these guys in the ring together. Have my good buddy win the Continental Classic and have him face Okada in one of your major pay per views.
Yeah. But that was the only highlight. Again, the only real highlight from WrestlePalooza was Stephanie and Io, and the only real highlight from AEW was Okada, Mascara, and Takashita.
Yeah, that was it. Congratulations to Chris Statlander being the new Women's World Champion. I believe deep down in my heart she deserves it. I also believe deep down in my heart that she's going to defend this title very well, and she's going to be a transition champion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because Jamie's good buddy, good friend, Mercedes Monet is going to come after that title. She's going to transition into being the AEW World Heavyweight Champion because like I know, that everybody else know. That's why Tony Storm lost, because there's no way that Tony Khan was going to let Tony Storm get pinned by Mercedes, and he's not going to let Tony Storm beat Mercedes again. So why he just put it on the one person who really deserves it and should have a nice long time to run? But let's make her a transition champion, and we're gonna have Mercedes beat her so she can have belt number 10. It makes sense.
yeah. The how far they're going out of the way to do this whole belt collector thing with her just drives me nuts. But that's exactly what it is. If you have Tony Storm beat her again, all of her credibility goes out the window. You can
Yep.
have all the belts you want, but when you don't even have your own company's top belt, like, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So, and Tony Storm, to her credit, she needs a break.
She does. Her
She's
gimmick,
been
yes.
she's been nonstop for a while. She needs a break. Take a
Yeah,
few weeks
yeah.
off. Go get
Yeah,
it done.
she needs her gimmick. I like the timeless gimmick, and she needs to stick with it, but it needs to be refreshed. And no, and like you said, she needs a break. So well deserved. The Heyman on the Page Kyle Fletcher match, like I said, I feel bad for Fletcher. He got buried. Enough said on that one. Plus, it was a 40-minute match, which it didn't need to go 40 minutes. I don't know why. I don't know why they think they just need to be a 40-minute match. It didn't need to be. The tag team match with the Young Bucks, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was on my break and I wanted to enjoy my lunch.
Nothing wrong
And
with that.
I did not want to ruin my lunch by watching this match, knowing that I'm just big. Look, man, you know what? It hurts. I'm being serious. It hurts that as big as a wrestling fan as you and I are, it hurts to my soul that I have to sit here and say, oh man, two shows, one of the worst wrestling shows that I have seen in a very long time. On one night, two companies put on two bad shows, the worst weekend of wrestling that I have experienced in a very long time. Two shows that I'm really trying to forget, but I can't forget it. Two shows that should never happen. And but they had the same idea. We're gonna put on bad wrestling shows, and everybody's gonna sit there and watch it and love it, and we're
I'm
gonna take
just
their money.
I'm just wondering what ESPN had to say after Wrestlepalooza is probably the biggest question I have after the whole weekend, because they spent that whole week bringing on WWE talent onto like all of their shows on ESPN to hype this thing up. And like we said, it was a glorified house show. That's all it
And
was.
and not only that,
And ESPN gave it a C themselves. They
yep,
didn't even like take the tack of, oh, it's an A plus show and we're gonna focus on this one thing. They flat out it was a C.
yeah, and not only that, you had WWE wrestlers staying in character.
Yeah,
For the life of me, I don't know why, but hey, do you?
yeah.
I'm looking forward to tonight. I don't know why. I'm looking forward to watching Dynamite once we about to get off here in another 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to watching Dynamite. I guess in a way, I'm kind of intrigued how they're gonna present these women tag team titles, or if they presented them. I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen. I owe that to myself. I owe that to myself. I owe it to this show to sit here in the next 4 minutes and 35 seconds to watch AEW Dynamite and see what's going to happen. I don't know. It's just a part of me just hoping that maybe it'll be a good Dynamite. Maybe they'll do something that resembles a story. Maybe they'll do something different. Maybe they will stop. I don't know. Uh, Stop booking as a fan and book as a true booker. I don't know, man, but I owe it to myself to sit here and just watch it. And I'm also looking forward to watching SmackDown because maybe SmackDown would be interesting this Friday. Maybe I might see Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. Uh
Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts. Seeing Jacob Fatu would be a good thing. The less we see of Solo Sokoa is an even better thing. I just think he's terrible. He plays a really good lackey, but trying to make him the center of a story, he's not a good wrestler. And you just can't take him seriously. Um, Main thought would be AEW is going to have to put on very high quality shows in the very near future if they're going to be trying to negotiate for a new TV deal. The fact that HBO has already told them you can go look means that they've
Yeah.
already been told or given the green light in the negotiations with Paramount Skydance that you don't need to keep these guys.
If that's true, what you're saying, because I know it is, because I actually I did look that up about the merger and how they're going to do things, how they're not going to keep certain programs, or if I'm AEW, this is my last wake up call, and I'm going to have to put on some A plus shows because if TNT, TBS, and HBO Max tell you, hey, they're going to find a new TV deal. And I don't care if you're a businessman or not. When it's one say that to you, it's kind of like a punch in the gut or a wake up call. Oh shoot, I'm about to be fired. It's like an employee. Oh yeah, hey. Or even better, it's kind of like in the NBA or NFL or any professional league. When the player don't want to play for that team anymore, and then you hear the GM owner say, hey, go and find you a better deal. Go find a trade partner and come back to us, and we'll go from there. It's a wake up call.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to see it, you can see it on Ringside News. They have the article that they're free to look for a new TV deal. But this is so the one thing that can be worrisome for AEW is the family is full of billionaires. And AEW started off on YouTube. Tony Khan might not be all that concerned and just say, hey, we'll throw it back up on YouTube, but wrestlers make money when they get exposure. That's why everybody wanted to go to WWF, WWE growing up, because it had the most exposure. That's where you go to get your name out there, everything like that. If these guys get relegated to our show's only on YouTube, those big name people are not going to stick around when their contracts are up. And that will be the death knell of the company, is when the big names start to leave. MJF isn't going to stick around to be on YouTube at this point in his career. Hangman Page is not going to stick around to be on YouTube.
Me and Jamie will stick around and be on YouTube. Just know that, because we love YouTube. But you are right. I don't think in the beginning YouTube wasn't a problem.
No, because the company was building. Everybody knew what they were getting into.
Yeah.
It's different now.
Yeah. And I kind of, honestly, if they go back to YouTube was not bigger than it was 5 years ago. And if you can work out any type of media rights deal with YouTube.
Oh, I'm not talking about getting on YouTube Live. I'm not talking YouTube TV. I'm talking about they would probably end up just having their show on YouTube, like what we're doing. Now, if they were to work something out with YouTube TV, they would have to basically have their own network, which, I mean, not that they don't have the money to do something like that. If they're just doing basically the AEW network inside of YouTube TV, they could probably do something like that, because then they could bring out the Ring of Honor library and all that kind of stuff too. And that gives them 20 years of content. But I'm saying if they don't work out a new TV deal, I don't know how much urgency Tony Khan's going to have, because he might just say, well, if we don't get a new TV deal, I'll just go back to YouTube and we'll just put everything on there. But then you're limiting your audience big time.
Yeah, you might be limiting your audience, but also your audience might be happy because it'll be for free.
Yeah.
So that means like your ratings, your demos will go up.
TNT and TBS are always like on the free versions of cable anyway. Whenever you buy like the crappy cable packages, those are always two of the included channels, so it's almost free to begin with.
Yeah, but look what they're doing though. I mean, they lost the NBA. They leased out inside the NBA. It's kind of like just a matter of time where TNT and TBS will not be in the sports business. Sports entertainment business. It's just a matter of time before they get rid of Major League. Well, no, because they just signed a media rights deal with hockey and baseball. But after that deal, it's just a matter of time till they just be out of the sports and entertainment business.
It depends on if they can turn baseball. It's not going to happen with hockey, just because hockey doesn't have the audience, even though it's still my favorite sport. If they could turn a show like Inside the NBA with baseball, and, because as far back as you could basically remember, basketball's been on TNT, and you've had Inside the NBA. If they could do something similar like that with baseball, with a team, I can think of a couple guys that are baseball guys that would be really good together. Then they might have something relevant to keep them in the sports business. But if they don't, then yeah, you're right. They'll just be out of sports completely at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in it with this. If you are a baseball fan, me and Jamie are Detroit Tiger fans. I kind of think it's time to turn our membership in, because Detroit Tigers are down 5-1, and they are making history as the first MLB team to have a 15.5 game lead and squander that 15.5 games lead, as they were now officially will be in second. Well, a game out of first place. They won't be tied. They will be a game out of first place because the Cleveland Indians are whooping that ass going to the 8th inning.
I mean,
Good job, Detroit. My hometown. Good job. Who's the GM?
oh, Scott, shit, what's his last name? I almost said
Scott
Reynolds. It's
Harris.
not. Scott Harris, that's it.
Good job, Scott Harris. When your team needed some reinforcement, a couple of veteran pitchers, a veteran hitter, you didn't go that route. We're going to get guys around the shine age, and hopefully they can turn back the clock
That's
and they
true.
can do something.
And you ain't got veteran pitchers that weren't even good. That was the best part.
Not only that, I just seen y'all release one, and he started for the Atlanta Braves the next day.
Yeah.
Good job for dropping the ball. You remind me of AEW, Detroit Tigers. Thank you very much.
I mean, whether it's, setting the record for most losses in baseball, football, we got it all covered. But there is a positive stat from the Lions that you can look up. I forgot what it was exactly. We're the first team in NFL history to have 6 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns, and something in a certain amount. I saw it earlier and I didn't memorize it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of the Detroit Lions, and they're gonna do well. So these they do better in WWE and in AEW. So with that said, yes, I'm being blurred out. Why I'm being blurred out? Because I asked to be blurred out. So with that said, thank you, camera, for blurring me out right now.
Hopefully by the next show you can get yourself in focus.
We'll see. It depends on how Dynamite goes tonight. All right, everybody. This has been the Signature and Finishers podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our show. We just getting started, baby. We just getting started. Gonna be a lot of different things coming down the pipe. So,
It's
everybody,
only gonna get better.
yes, enjoy your Wednesday. I can't say peace out. Just have enjoy your Wednesday.